This video tutorial is about making a realistic perch pattern crankbait. I do have a video already online painting a perch, but I feel like I've really perfected this pattern to make it more realistic. This is what we're going to do today. I think the colors have more depth and more realism than my previous video, so I'm going to show you today how we're going to do this. And this is one of my favorite patterns to paint, and it's quite easy. So we're going to start with a lure blank. This one's called a deep CB, and this one dives to about 12 feet or so. It's actually one of my favorite lure bodies too. Is that the action is fantastic, and it really gets down to where the fish are. So the first thing we're going to do is start with a white base coat, and then we'll get into the real colors. So I'm not going to bore you with showing you how I spray a white base coat. I think we can do that. So when I turn the camera back on, the white base will already be on the bait. Okay, so the next step in painting our perch pattern crankbait is we're going to go with a pearl white paint. There's a different couple brands. This one is by Golden, and it's an iridescent pearl. But I also have a Wicked Colors brand by Crankbaits, and this is a pearl white. Both work just as good. I bought two different manufacturers just to see how if there's a difference between the two, and they're both pretty much identical. So I got the pearl white loaded up in the brush, and I'll just do a real quick coat here of the pearl. I like using the pearl paints because it really increases the depth of the finished pattern. Okay, doesn't take much. All right, I'm going to heat set that with my hairdryer, and then we'll go on to the next color. Okay, now we're going to continue on by painting the top half of the bait. I'm going to do a pearlized lime green. And this is the paint here by Crankbaits. Shake it up good. You may have to thin it out a little bit because of the pearlized flakes inside, so it flows better through the airbrush. But this is going to be the next color here. And we'll spray just on the back and some on the sides. What really gives lures some depth as far as the patterns go is layering on the colors. You're not going to achieve a lot of realism and depth just by using one color. So that's why I start from light colors and start working to my darker colors. Okay. There we go. That's the pearl lime. And next we'll go to the belly. Okay, for the belly we're going to use a transparent orange paint, and we're going to spray right over the the pearl white. What I like about transparent paints is what you're painting over, that layer will show through like this pearlized white, and that again gives it some depth, a little bit of character. Just a light coat. I'd rather do a couple light coats than one heavy coat. Okay, that's very light, and we'll heat set that. Yeah, let's do another coat. Darken it up just a little bit. Maybe you can see that better. I paint the orange about halfway up the belly. So you can see just a little bit of that pearl white showing through, kind of in the middle. That looks really good. Okay, heat set that, and we'll go on to the next. Okay, now we're going to add another color of green on the back. Again, we're layering colors. That will help produce a more realistic look and give the pattern some depth. So what we're going to shoot next is this Wicked Colors. It's a detailed moss green, and we're going to do that lightly on the back. And there we go. Oops, the airbrush clogged. Okay, here we go. And still the pearlized lime underneath still showing through. Looks like the airbrush is spitting a little bit. I'll have to clean the nozzle out, but okay. So there we have it. Just a little bit of green. It's not as dark as I want it yet, but we're going to do that next once I put the scale pattern on, and I'll show you. Okay, what I did here is I put a scale mask on the lure body. And what this is basically just a loofah, which is like a little wash cloth thing. You can get them at Target or Walmart. They have different kinds, and the one I get is for exfoliating because it's a little stiffer, doesn't stretch as much, maintains a scale pattern pretty well. And then I have these little alligator clips just to hold it down. But I wanted to create just a mild scale pattern just on the top, a little bit on the sides. So I loaded my brush up with some black, and I thinned it out with some reducer. And I don't want the black to be too dominant, just enough to show off the scale pattern. So just lightly spray along the top, and you'll see that green darken up a little bit too. We don't want it too dark. There you go. Doesn't look like I've done much, but you'll see once I take off the scale pattern or the scale mask, you'll see what happens here. Let me dry it with the hairdryer. And then let's pull this off. There we go. See the scale pattern? Doesn't look like black was used. Looks like maybe like a dark green. That's why when I thin it out, it will just darken the green underneath first. So we got a nice scale pattern there. Next we're going to work on doing the stripes. Okay, so we're going to work on these stripes like you see on the previous lure. And again, I don't want these stripes to be real dominant and be the main focal point of the lure. So I reduced the air pressure down to about 12 to 15 psi, and we're just going to do a light dusting of black using just a regular comb that I use as a mask for the stripes. This part is kind of tedious, and sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't, but I kind of line it up right here on the edge of the gill. And maybe just one pass with the airbrush. Alright, maybe 2, 3, lightly. There we go. You can see that. Okay, and then we'll flip it around and do the same thing to the other side. Hold the mask up. Very lightly. There are your stripes. I'm going to heat set that, and then we're going to keep going with the black a little bit. What I do with the black now is darken up the back of the lure and then do some around the eyes. Alright. Not a lot of black, but just to kind of join up the stripes a little bit. There we go. The black kind of brings out some more depth into the colors. All right, a little bit around the eyes. Under the beak. We'll heat set that, then we have one small detail left to finish up. Okay, one thing left to do is paint a little bit of white under the throat of the lure, and then we'll move on to adding the eyes and the clear coat. Just a little bit of white. This kind of adds a little bit of contrast too with the other colors. We don't need a lot, and I'll heat set that, and then we'll move on to clear coating. Okay, what I did is I added the eyes, and the eyes just come on a sheet just like this. These eyes are probably the most realistic I've seen, and those are made by Boss, and I got them at I think tacklewarehouse.com. So the final step here is clear coating. I mixed up some DevCon 2-ton epoxy clear, and the working time is about 30 minutes, but realistically you're looking more like 10. But so I mixed them in a little cup here, and I got a disposable paintbrush I got in the kids toy department there at Walmart, and nice long even strokes, and that will keep some of the bubbles from appearing on the bait. And I'll tell you what, this clear coat really makes the colors start to pop. Nice long even strokes. You know, good lighting is really important too in your booth, so you don't miss anything, whether it's painting or clear coating like this. I have two LED desk lamps I got from Target, and they work great. You can probably expect to spend about 40 bucks a piece on the lamps, but they're well worth it. See, this clear coat really makes everything pop. Especially the eyes. I like the eyes. Kind of gives life to the bait. Just about done here. Now this clear coat's going to need about 6 to 8 hours to cure. I'm not in a rush. I'm in Minnesota and all the lakes are frozen over. But I'm looking forward to using this here in the spring and summer. Okay, make sure I got everything. Get the back here. And looks like we're done. That is a realistic looking perch. So thanks for watching, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.